you've got game tickets, you may want to cancel because this game is going to happen with everything going on. So, and that brings us to the major things that are going on right now in the world, and that is the government has finally come to terms with this being a serious event. Rumors of cases in almost all of the East, some in Europe, and obviously we can't know all of it, but the truth is it's here, and they've upgraded it to now serious. So I guess one of these guys, let me look at this here. It's called a risk matrix, and I guess the numbers are like 0.00, basically like a percentile or something. And the higher the point number was, the worse it was. And he came up with a 0.90. So the way I'm reading it is he basically assessed that 90% of the population is going to get this. This made everybody completely nuts, of course, and had people double-checking healthcare cases, and wouldn't you know it, there's records that match this thing everywhere already. They said that the reports indicated that it was drug overdoses, and they just assumed it was what they said it was, and that none of these guys did any follow-up. And seriously, these guys couldn't run a popsicle stand. Is it incompetence? I don't know. So how long has these places had it? I'm starting to wonder if we really were the first to have it. And now nobody really knows because they didn't do the research they needed to when it all started to happen. And now everybody's behind the eight ball. And that's the big problem. They don't know how you get it. Most people I hear say, they bite you and they infect you, but if that's the case, how did this pop up in places like Europe and Canada? And how about this? And I'm calling it here. It's all the crap. Chemicals in all the food they feed us. Even the organic stuff. It isn't organic. It's either genetically grown or sprayed with some pesticide. So I'm calling it, everybody has it. That's just the way we're going to go from here on in. And just, that's my expectation. I would say check your food, look for smells. The way they make this stuff, you probably couldn't even see it, but that's where I'd look first. And what are they using now that they never used before? That's the big thing. But the chances are you've already got it, and that's just the way it's just waiting to pop off. There's some trigger or something that's going to cause the problem. And one day you're having chicken dinner, and the next day you're eating your mother-in-law. And yeah, I know it's no time to joke, but you got to laugh at the pure buffoonery that's going on here. I mean, how hard is it to see this? You would think that 2 minutes of research and you'd figure it out. But anyway, now they're talking quarantines, shutting everything down. I was seeing pictures of Pittsburgh and Atlanta the other day, and honestly, it was crazy. But I haven't even seen one of these sick people, and they're going to close down the world for it. I don't think those places were this bad because of the illness either. I think it was because of what they did to combat it. Shutting it down was what made it bad. And it just shut people off from having access to the procedures and all the stuff that they needed, health care, that kind of thing. These little things that people do to try to fix things are the things that actually kick off these events. And that's what I think it was. This was the big kickoff event, was they took it and took it too far. And there's no way an illness could blow through a city like that in 48 hours. It just, to me, and destroy it. It just seems impossible. There's just no way. So is that the plan, to make the rest of us just like Pittsburgh? And that's crazy. It won't be doing anyone any favors. Just imagine how many people that would hurt. Those places are without power, phone, probably don't even have radio. We can't run without being able to go to the store. I mean, my wife, 24 hours without a massage bath and a makeup, and she's off a rocker, completely unable to function. So, in 3 days of none of that stuff, you might as well just commit her. Just start investing in Xanax, boys, because it's coming. So, and I feel they could have done something at the beginning here and locked everything up, but now, what are you going to do? It's too late. Now the cat's out of the bag. It's all done, and there's no putting it back. And now the reactions to this stuff is worse than the illness that we're dealing with. So I guess they're even setting up some sort of media center. They're saying to control the information going out to make sure people are kept up to date because it's been so difficult to get this information out. So it's just better to have some sort of centralized location. But that brings the question of, does that mean they're cutting us off? Does that mean we're next on the chopping block of having any sort of discussion? As general media gets told to shut up, we don't like what you're saying, or the information is wrong, which is what we keep hearing. So you know what, you can't, general freedom of the press kind of thing, you guys can't be held responsible for your stuff. And I totally expect that in other places. You talk about places like Canada and in Europe, and especially in the East, the idea of just turning off the radio, most of those places already do it now. So what's the difference between one thing and the other? It's the reason we can't get the information we need to make a good decision on what we're doing. So they're talking about this big press conference coming up, but we don't have a date, we don't have a time, nobody knows what's going on. It's typical just chasing after our own tails, and that's where I think the problem is happening. If we aren't getting ahead of this because we don't have the information, or we're just being kind of shifted, and they got to make sure, and that's what I think it is. It's write that perfect narrative. You can't say certain things. You can't say defend yourself. You can't say all these things that these people talk about. It can't be done. So that leaves us completely in the dark with one source of information that just literally tells us close your door, lock everything up, and buy some MRE. So like I said early in the show, cancel your tickets, pack it up, and get ready for this one because it's about to go down. It's coming. So here's my input, and remember, I'm no prepper, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, I'm not a professional, even though that stuff is going nuts right now. I'm sure there's people out there that want to sell you stuff. We've had sponsors trying to get with us about preppers stuff and making sure that they get the right kind of foods and that kind of thing. But my input right now is go get a go bag. If you don't have a go bag, now's the time to make one and get ready because it's coming. If you don't know what a go bag is, it's like if military MREs, food, stuff that lasts a long time. Just clothing, just something in a bag that's enough to get you someplace to get things going and have a place to basically wait things out. Is how it works. So I'm sure a lot of guys already have headed out to the woods. That I've heard a bunch of stories like it. So I don't know about anything confirmation wise, but wouldn't doubt me in one bit. So. But when the military marches through the streets with megaphones, I'm just going to say I'm not sticking around. And it's seriously no joke. I don't know where I'm going. Wherever this isn't happening would be a good place, but I'm going to figure it out. And I'm heading there, and I don't think anything is going to stop this now. So setting up that little cabin in the woods kind of thing is going to be the way to do it. But they seriously, folks, they got their hands on the launch keys, and it's go time for them. And you don't want to be anywhere near where any of this stuff will land. You just being in the area could be disruptive and destructive. When people start marching into town, you get the hell out of Dodge, seriously. So how appropriate is it happened in an election year? That's just I'm gonna say it. Like, perfect timing, huh? Go figure. And again, I'm not a conspiracy guy, I'm just calling it how I see it. So I want all my listeners out there, be careful, be safe. You guys, there's going to be some stuff out there like making sure don't come into contact with people you don't have to, and do what you have to do to keep yourself safe, because that's important. You and your family, I want to wish everybody the best on it. So if you see any of these things, you stay the hell away, because if it ain't in the food, then it's sure as hell in them, and I'm 100% sure you can get it from somebody who does have it, even if the scientist guys haven't said that yet. So, but until then, I'm going to give you guys some music to listen to. It's going to be awesome, and we're going to be positive in the spite of negative.